The Haunting of Annabelle. Written by Carl East. Narrated by Sophia Chambers. Annabelle returned the cordless phone to its charger on the office desk. Gazing at the framed magazine covers that lined the walls of the room, she slowly headed for the door, pausing only to turn off the desk lamp. Wandering into the kitchen, still dressed in workout clothes, she headed directly to the refrigerator. There was a bottle of white wine in there, and she was pouring a glass, even if it was only 11:30 in the morning. She needed it after the telephone call she just had with her agent. Her mind was racing, even though she knew this day had been coming. The requests from designers that simply had to have her face and body gracing their haute couture had been steadily declining in the last couple of years. Instead of being the pivotal model in a photo shoot or on the designer's runway, the offers were dwindling down to being an extra, or perhaps the finishing touch to the group that were being used for the major promotions. It hadn't been a surprise when her agent called with the latest news that there were still no requests for the upcoming Fashion Week in New York. They discussed a few options, one being for them to contact some of the more loyal designers who were still using her on a sporadic basis, even after 20 years had passed. She couldn't seem to put her head around the thought of her agent calling them. She advised him to hold off until she had time to review their discussion. It wasn't as if she was unaware of the passing of time. Taking a turn around the kitchen while sipping wine didn't help to calm down the agitation, so she kept moving to the patio doors and out onto the small terrace that graced her condominium. Watching as the city air streamed over her tiny garden of roses, she reasoned that even though a person kept in shape, kept current with the new designers, and still had plenty of contacts in the industry, it didn't stop time. When 20 years go by, you had to face facts. Time doesn't stop just because you want it to. It was time to move on to the plans she'd been putting into place these past 5 years. Money wasn't going to be a problem. She'd had a level head from the start and began investing and saving during her years of modeling. Perhaps it was time to start a business, an investment that she had total control over. Through the years, carefully selected opportunities, along with investments in land and property, added to her wealth, and on most projects, she had turned over a nice profit. Maybe it was time to expand from doing it on a part-time basis to a full-time one. Pinching off a dead rose, she walked back in and went through the kitchen for a refill and a salad, and then back to the office where the computer sat silent. Flipping the switch and rolling up her sleeves to the elbows, the review of emails came first. Junk mail had now graduated to spam, and one by one she deleted them off until she caught sight of an email alert from a property broker she dealt with on a sporadic basis in the past. The email was about a property in upstate New York that would be coming on the market. The attached pictures showed a handsome estate surrounded by woodland with forests and a mountain in the distance. The agency was suggesting the possibility of it being utilized as a country home or perhaps a bed and breakfast, if one had the inclination. Pondering on the other details listed, it definitely seemed like an opportune time to set up an appointment for a walkthrough. Calling her former contact, they spent several minutes catching up and then arranged for a viewing of the property. The appointment was scheduled for the following weekend, and arrangements were made to have her met at the railroad station. This was definitely turning out to be an improvement over the morning phone call. The idea of a bed and breakfast appealed to Annabelle. It was definitely something she could invest in, and the complexity of having to make improvements to the property was something that she needed right now. The days passed so quickly that when an offer for a spot on the runway came from a new designer, she graciously declined. Perhaps, if she wasn't so available, it would increase her appearance value. Playing a little hard to get never hurt anyone. And besides, what did she have to lose? Shrugging her shoulders, she switched gears to concentrate on packing a suitcase for the weekend real estate trip. She needed to include her workout clothes, a pair of good walking shoes, and a few mix-and-match pieces that would go from day to night. Might as well.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?